Welcome to the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I am your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture and entertainment news website. I am very excited today to welcome this incredible rising star in the R&B world. He has over 6,520 Facebook fans and 5,975 Instagram followers. And his debut single, The Times We've Had, was featured on a #1 spot on Tidal's Rising R&B playlist. Please help me welcome Jessame.
Hey, what's up, Jacob?
Nothing much, Jessame.
Thanks for the great intro, by the way.
You are so welcome, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about your origin story. So when did you get interested in music, and how did that passion evolve into the desire of pursuing a career in the recording industry?
Well, you said interested, so my earliest memory was actually wanting to get my own drum set at a young age. And, it was the child drum set. It had like the snare, a fake crash, and like a tom that you had to learn on. And that was like maybe 5 or 6. But then I got my real one for Christmas when I was in 6th grade, I think. Yeah. So I saw my dad tour with legends on stage, and he made it attainable for me to see him come off stage, and it was my dad again. And then he would go back out and do his thing, and it'd be like, wow, that's my dad. So it was an inspiration in the blood early on. And the interest definitely played a pivotal role in like why I am the artist I am today, and why I chose to pursue music, and just the way it makes me feel on a human level, and just elevating. It's just another spiritual connection. I just let it work through me, and so like it's just cool to see what it can do around the world and move people's emotions.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up your dad. So Al worked as Avril Lavigne's bassist. And then, however, your great uncle is Chuck Berry, one of the most legendary, influential figures in rock and roll.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So how did they influence your sound?
That's a good question. Like, my dad has probably the biggest influence on my sound because he played so many records, from like Marvin to Stevie to Depeche Mode to Bob Marley to, just like rock and roll legends as well. I grew up, I'm a mixed person, so I'm half black, half white, and Native American as well. But like, I grew up with so much influence of like heavy metal too, and rock. And then I started getting into those alternative bands, but then I grew up into the hip hop in like freshman year, and Kid Cudi and Kanye West and all them. And it was just such an interesting time I grew up in, at least because, I remember specifically the Backstreet Boys being my favorite, like at a young age though, like 4, because they were just everywhere. And NSYNC and Justin Timberlake, huge inspiration of mine, Pharrell, D'Angelo, all sorts. So I really just I love all music. Only thing I do not really listen to, and not because I don't like it, is country. I just don't really listen to country that much, but it's like I said, it's blood, it's lineage. It's something that you can't really describe. Chuck is the originator of rock and roll. Someone said it best the other day. It's like Little Richard and Chuck Berry are like 50-50 split on who innovated rock and roll, because he did it on piano, Chuck did it on guitar. So I'm just glad to carry the name, and not that I have to prove anything, but I just love it. It's just all I know, so it's just cool to like.
And were you able to see like performances of your great uncle and Little Richard perform, or like on video?
In person? Yeah, definitely like on video, but never in person. That'd be tight though, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the Backstreet Boys. Like, I remember listening to them when I was younger. Like, they actually came, like starting elementary school age. So like, I remember hearing Millennium, one of the greatest teen pop records of all time, plus Shape of My Heart, and then all those songs, and like seeing them where they're still standing now. They're like the new kids they're our generation's new kids on the block.
Mm-hmm. So New Kids on the Block, I didn't even really listen to. It was mainly the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, if anything like B2K, 98 Degrees. I never got into New Kids on the Block, surprisingly.
Neither did I. But however, I did actually see 98 Degrees when they performed in Kansas City. It was like a lineup with Monica. 98 Degrees and Monica were like headlining this. There's the like during its prime, Nickelodeon when Kenan Thompson was still on and Nick Cannon was still on, all that. So I got to see them perform live.
Yeah. Wow. Damn.
That was my very first concert.
What? So wow.
Yeah. It is insane how
my first was the Backstreet Boys, actually.
Yeah, it's amazing with that first concert feeling. However, did you like as you're starting to develop your career and like as you continue to grow, did you face any challenges? And then how did you overcome those obstacles?
Challenges, yeah, so many. Like it's just being human comes with challenges. Deciding to pursue music at first very financially challenging because you don't want to sacrifice your creative freedom and choices you make, whether or not you want to work certain jobs or how much time you want to put in. It's really all just like so many years I was just not doing well financially and just and accepting like, yo, I'm going to be broke. But it was because of the hunger and what I love to do. And it definitely pays off. Like I don't regret anything. And just, choices I made in high school and just you grow and you can write about them and you can help other people go through their life with hearing your take on certain situations, So I think that's the most important part about music, and especially what I want to do with this EP that's coming out, like really get people to know me, know that I'm human, know that I'm not perfect. And like, we're not, we shouldn't be anything else than our truest self. Cause that's the most beautiful part,
That's very well said. And actually you are signed to Anderson Paak's management team. So what does it mean to have them help you build your career?
I think, early on, I was very inspired by Anderson Paak and his music, especially being a drummer and a singer. It was like, wow, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Now he's doing it, and he kills it too. Like he's a great artist and one of my inspirations. And so I remember being back in 2019, I think. Yeah, beginning of last year, I met Carrie, my manager, and just developed a relationship with her and the team. And it was just great to have that trust in them and them trust in me. And it's like every relationship in life, there's ups and downs and you have to butt heads and meet in the middle, but still it's worth the hope of what you all see to come true. So it's a blessing, really.
Awesome. So you also released 2 collaborations with 2 unique artists. Let's start with Love Thing with Pisano, and then also Body with, I'm sorry if I butcher her name, Adriana Alexis. Sorry, Adriana. Yeah. So what are some of the similarities and differences between those 2 collaborations?
Major difference. Like Body is a record that is more of a pop R&B radio record that was literally just made in a vibey situation, and we were like, yo, let's put something out, and we did it. Versus like me and Pisano have had a working relationship for years, ever since I met him, just really building an archive of just so unique records, so many of them. And so we put that one out, see how it would do during the quarantine, and I got a great response from both. So
that's pretty cool. And now I want to talk about your new single, Get Me Right. I love the song, and can you share with my audience the story behind the song?
Yeah, actually, that's a funny story. It's funny, actually. This is one of the funniest stories of songs I've made, because I made it. My girlfriend that I'm dating now, who I love very much, I wrote it about her like as soon as we met, and we were still building, like, getting to know each other. But it was just something about her that always made me feel like, wow, I feel like I'm on a different level with her. And she actually came to the studio one day. I was working on this song. She had gotten a call from her old employer because of this COVID thing. No one can do anything really anymore. she was like, hey, I want you to work for me, yada, yada, yada. Ended up being like a really long call. And then she had left the room. And within that 30 minutes that she was on the call, I wrote the hook about her because she was like with me. And she came back and she was like, oh my God, I love it. Like, it's got to be called Get Me Right. And and it just came out like that. And so she was actually there. She just didn't know I was writing about her, you know? So it's a funny story. Like, it was really all about her and how she makes me feel.
Awesome. And like 30 minutes, to write a song, that is incredible.
Well, not the whole song, but the hook. Thank you.
But I'm sorry about the hook. Yeah, the hook definitely. I still say that is brilliant time for 30 minutes. But like Sia, like one of my favorite songwriters, Sia.
Ooh, yeah.
She definitely. Like, there's been some stories of like she's been able to write songs like under 30 minutes, and I think that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So speaking of Sia and other songwriters and singers, who are some of your people that are your dream collaborators, like singers, songwriters, and producers, and that's on your wish list, and how would they enhance your sound?
Okay, so Frank Ocean. I'm just going to name 5. Just keep it simple. Frank Ocean, Pharrell, Timberland, Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest. And just to throw it in there, see what we would do, Quincy Jones.
All phenomenal names, and definitely I think you could they could work their magic on you, and I think they would have some really good hits, especially with Timberland and Pharrell and Quincy.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be like to have a chance to have it to be like, I know that Quincy doesn't do a lot of collaborations, but have a chance for you to work with him.
Yeah.
That would be probably a feather in your cap, and also definitely a highlight, because there's no way Quincy Jones, his resume is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra, Ray Charles, Michael Jackson, and also and then
stop there, and then
and not mention Count Basie and his orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like. Those are some incredible. Those are some incredible stuff. And Timberland, I love his stuff. His stuff with Nelly Furtado, with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah,
I gotta say, 2-Man Show with Elton John, still one of my all-time favorite tracks, because those are two people that you can't even would not go together.
Timberland and Elton John have a song together.
Yeah, it's called 2-Man Show.
I didn't know that. Wow,
it's on Shock. Yeah, it's probably on one of the Shock Value albums.
Shock Value is that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite Timberland songs, and then followed by Timberland and Katy Perry's "If We Ever Meet Again." That's another good one. And then "Morning After Dark," what he did was "So Shy" and Nelly Furtado, another one.
Dude, Timberland is a beast. I personally love his stuff that he's done with Justin Timberlake, just because they're not afraid to go somewhere else and take you in the zone for 8 minutes just to get the point across, you know?
Yeah, and it feels like he's so underrated as a producer.
Maybe not underrated, but maybe underappreciated.
Yeah, and I
think there's so many stacks and layers and genius behind what he does that it gets overlooked because they just don't know. It's just so good. You're not really paying attention to those things if you're not an artist or creative. And it's just like, wow, what the hell? That's with your mouth? And like, he's just beatboxing in there like a bunch. And
then there's Pharrell. Seriously, Pharrell has had a huge body of work, especially last decade with Get Lucky remains probably one of my all-time favorite songs, what he did with Daft Punk and Nile Rodgers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's still a killer combination.
Yeah, and people don't even know that he did like Gwen Stefani and Justin Timberlake and so many people, you know? It's just so crazy. Missy Elliott, like.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see you team up with Missy.
That'd be an interesting collaboration because we're different people. Like, I can get, like, I'm athletic and I like to skateboard, so I get excited in that sense. She's just naturally like crazy, like but I'm very calm, you know. So it would be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, and like seriously, if like it's incredible. Like these producers that you named, the collaborators that you named, like would be unbelievable. And like Frank Ocean's definitely probably one of our generation's top artists when it comes to the R&B world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
That's my favorite.
Alrighty, so
my favorite.
So we have like three more questions. So one of my things I love to talk about my guests is social media. So what are some of your favorite social media platforms? Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and what makes them stand out to you?
I like Instagram. Instagram is great just because it's a very professional way of just letting people know just however much you want them to know about you and see about you. Some people aren't as open as others, but I think there's beauty in all of it. You know, it's like whether you want to be on private and want 20 people to follow you or you just want to give your life away, it's up to you. I don't think it just depends on what you view and what your morals are and what your intent is behind it. But it's cool. I think Instagram's a great platform, and they adapted a lot from Snapchat, which was a great platform back a couple of years ago. TikTok, I haven't really understood yet. It's just such a weird time. Like this new generation, I haven't understood yet. It's like they think so many weird things are funny, and I've uploaded maybe 10 to 15 TikToks, and like the two ones that I just didn't even care about have done the most, with like 30,000 streams and 100,000. I'm like, what? Why do you like this one? When I, you know, so just I like Instagram. I don't really know about anything else right now.
For me, it's very hard to get into TikTok because my content, I don't know exactly what to do. I rather use my Instagram stories and Twitter.
Absolutely.
All right. So second to last question. If you had the opportunity to meet with aspiring singer-songwriters who want to take their music careers to the next level, what advice would you share with them?
To the next level. Well, it depends on if you're talking about the music or the choices you make. Because if you're talking about music to the next level, I'd say study a lot. Because in order to get better, you have to learn and listen to those who inspire you. I always find myself, when I'm stuck, I'm listening to every artist that inspires me on repeat and loud. Like, just so I can be like, wow, this is cool. I just heard something new. And then it inspires me to be better than that, you know? Not that it's a competition, but you're like, that's tight, but I want to make something even better. So that, creatively, but like, if your music's already great and you just want to know how to get to the next level, it's really just not being afraid to be a business in a sense, because you got to really sell your music, which is you. So like, get them to know you, do all the stuff you can, the shows, the online shows, the stuff that you makes you feel like you're getting outside of your comfort zone, because that's where we grow as well.
Absolutely. And we all have to grow, and we have to rework and we reshape everything, no matter if you're a musician, singer-songwriter, or even entertainment reporter. We all have to grow.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. So where can my audience find you?
I'm on Instagram a lot at Jessame Berry. That's like Jessame Berry. And you might catch me on TikTok sometimes. But yeah, mainly Instagram. And I'm going to be doing a lot more blogging on my site soon to come. I have a thing called Jessame Street, and it's going to be a day in the life of whenever I feel like just posting something about my life or getting you guys to know something about me that's going on. Photos along with a nice story. Jessame Street.
Awesome. And where can they grab your music?
Anywhere. Apple Music, Tidal, SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Jessame. Jessame. I have a lot of new music coming out and an EP coming out this summer. So I'm really hyped for everything.
And we can't wait to listen to it. So, all righty, guys. You can download more episodes from the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. You can also visit my social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all Jacob Elyachar, Jacob Elyachar. Now, you could read more on my stories and also other interviews. I've sat down with a lot of people, just me. I've sat down with music legends such as Cyndi Lauper, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, Gordon Lightfoot, Tanya Tucker. And I've also sat down with a lot of people from America's Got Talent, American Idol, Survivor, Big Brother, The Challenge. So you guys head over to jc.com to read more of those stories. Jessame, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me. And I
thank you.
It's have a very bright future ahead of you.
Thank you. It means a lot. It does.
All righty, guys. Have a fantastic day, and we will all see you very soon. Goodbye.
Very soon.